I'm Zelda from Michigan. Before I continue with my story, please like and subscribe. My brain works a little differently than most people's. When I was in preschool, I thought it was a good kind of different. I was already teaching myself to read and do math. I also had a perfect memory. I could point and remind my parents where certain stores and markets were. I even helped them remember long Wi-Fi passwords. But once I got to first grade, I noticed something was off about me. Every time I talked to someone, they acted like I said something weird. One time, Mom invited a friend of hers over, and I started asking her questions I was curious about.
How'd you get that bald spot? Have you ever gotten pregnant? Do you ever pee in the middle of the night?
Mom's friend was super offended by what I was saying and left dinner early. Mom was super embarrassed, and Dad tried to tell me that my questions were rude and too personal. Next time you meet someone for the first time, ask questions like, where are you from? What's your job? Dad gave me a bunch of example questions I could ask, but soon I learned I didn't know how to act around people at all. And whenever I tried to make friends, I just ended up annoying them, whether I talked too much or stood too close to them. By the time I was in 10th grade, I got used to not having friends. Zelda's like a robot.
What planet did that weirdo come from?
So instead, I studied super hard and became number 1 in my class. I won tons of science fairs and awards for school projects. My whole life was books and homework. Then one day, something happened totally out of the blue. My whole life was books and homework. Then one day, something happened totally out of the blue. Skylar, the most popular guy at school, asked me out. It's so fun being in biology class with you. You're funny and interesting, and hands down, the smartest person I know. I had no idea how to answer, but from that day on, Skylar treated me like a queen. He bought me jewelry and roses and always wanted to be my lab partner. 2 weeks later, we started dating, and everyone was super confused by it. What's a guy like Skylar doing with a loser like Zelda? She's gonna ruin him socially. We were the talk of the school. Every day, I asked Skylar why he chose me out of all the girls he could have dated, and he always told me the same thing. You're different, Zelda. I like that about you. Why don't you believe me? I tried to take Skylar for his word. So on his birthday, I planned a huge surprise for him. I Googled how to write a love poem. I spent hours thinking of the most romantic things I could tell Skylar. Finally, the day arrived. I brought speakers to school and stood up on a cafeteria table. Today is my amazing boyfriend's birthday. Skylar, babe, I've written you a poem as a token of my love. Your eyes are like starlight. Your skin's pale as moonlight. My sweet Skylar. I went on and bowed when I finished. That's when everyone burst out laughing. I looked to Skylar, but he was heading out of the cafeteria. I ran to catch up with him. Babe, why did you leave? Don't you love the... Ran to catch up with him. Babe, why did you leave? Don't you love the poem? I don't get it. Why did you read it to the whole school? That was the most embarrassing moment of my life. Why? 'Cause you're embarrassed of our love? Embarrassed of me? That's not what I said. God, why are you so stupid, Zelda? Everyone was right about you. Skylar walked off angrily, and tears filled my eyes. Why didn't I just put the poem in his locker or something? Or read it to him on a date? I was so sick of being a chronic moron. I came home early that day from school. My parents were working in the living room. Then suddenly, the house started shaking. We were having an earthquake. Within a few hours, half of our house was destroyed. And the next day, the earthquake was all over the news. Then, all of a sudden, my picture popped up on the TV screen with my first and last name. And next to it was written, reported missing after earthquake. Young teenager, last seen yesterday evening after the earthquake. Mom? Dad? What are they talking about? I don't know. What kind of mistake is this? The reporters must be talking about another girl and used Zelda's picture. My parents rushed to the computer in their bedroom to Google my apparent missing report. But when I checked social media on my phone, I saw I had thousands of notifications. Kids from school had posted everywhere online how worried they were about me and how amazing I was. Best of all, Skylar had posted about me saying he prayed they'd find me. I'd gone from being totally alone to the most loved person overnight. Before I knew what I was doing, I walked to my parents' room. We can't tell anyone this story is fake. Look what everyone's saying about me. They love me, for once. I have to hide in this house and pretend to be missing. Zelda, that's the craziest thing I've ever heard. It's not crazy. My life is hell. I deserve to have people appreciate me for once. Pretending to go missing is the only way I can have that. My parents argued with me for hours. Then suddenly, we heard a bunch of neighbors outside our door. I ran to hide in the closet while my parents answered the door. The neighbors showered them with sympathy. You two are going through so much with Zelda missing and your home almost ruined. Let us help you out. We'll give donations to repair the damage to your home. To my shock, I overheard the neighbors offer thousands of dollars in donations. It sounded like enough to pay for the damage. I guess that's why I overheard my parents agree, and why later they told me they were in on my plan. I hid in the basement all day while reporters and journalists came to our house. I was glued to my phone as more posts about me flooded my newsfeed. Half of them were from Skylar. Man, I hope Zelda's okay. I hope we don't lose her. He was mourning me. I found an old mask in my closet. I dressed all in black and took the bus to school. Skylar was probably crying about me. I had to see it for myself. I walked around the courtyard to see Skylar sitting on the bleachers with his friends. I hid under the steps. Poor Zelda's still missing. Maybe she's writing me another love poem.
My sweet Skylar, your eyes are like starlight.
I told you guys I could get that weirdo to date me for 2 months. Now pay up, $200 each. I watched in horror as all of Skylar's friends gave him $200. My head was spinning, and I had to keep from crying. I ran from the bleachers and wandered the street for hours. Of course, Skylar had never liked me. Instead, he dated me as a joke, for money. I decided then I wasn't going to let Skylar get away with it. The next morning, I started to walk out of the door with my mask on. I was going to find Skylar and let him have it. Zelda, why are you carrying your school backpack? You're not leaving the house, are you?
I'm wearing a mask and no one will know it's me.
That's ridiculous. You could get this whole family in trouble. This going missing scheme was your idea.
I'm still allowed to leave the house. I'm not going to stay cooped up in my room forever. I'm going to school today, whether you like it or not.
Zelda, wait. If you're going in disguise, let's at least make it believable. I'll help give you a little makeover.
But in the end, we didn't just do a makeover. I decided to completely transform myself. I got a whole new wardrobe, fake eyebrows, eyelashes, and a black wig. But I covered all of it up with a mask and hoodie. When I got to school, a couple of kids approached me, wondering who I was. Are you new here?
Why are you wearing a mask?
Because I like wearing masks. I'm like a mugger. Come at me, bro.
Why are you wearing a mask?
Because I like wearing masks. I'm like a mugger. Come at me, bro. The kids walked away quickly, and I was glad. All I could think about was Skylar. I followed him around the whole day, hiding under stairs and even sneaking into the boys' bathroom. But Skylar just seemed like his normal, popular self. Just a hot guy who'd rejected a dork like me. Maybe I was the problem, not Skylar. Then suddenly, I saw Skylar in the alley.
There, you new here? Because I think I would have remembered seeing someone as pretty as you.
Yeah, I knew. Call me Z. That's my name. I decided to hang out with Skylar the whole day. I wanted to know everything he'd been up to. All of a sudden, Skylar turned red, and he was dead silent. Had I said something? Had I blown my cover?
Z, I gotta tell you something. I'm a mess. I've reached rock bottom, especially after I lost my girlfriend. She's missing. I don't think they'll ever find her. Only a girl like you will help me get better. Can you be my girlfriend?
Sure. I'll be your girlfriend. Skylar and I spent the entire week together. He could have won the Academy Award for leading a double life. He took me on romantic beach walks and to crazy expensive restaurants. Skylar was sweeter than he ever was when we dated. Then one day, I got really sick and couldn't leave my bed for days. I barely checked my phone and didn't talk to Skylar at all. When I was well enough, I checked online and saw no one had posted about me going missing the past few days. And when I went back to school, I didn't hear my name once. I was waiting in line at lunch next to a couple of girls. I decided to bring the new story up. So,
People still remember that missing girl Zelda, right?
What missing girl?
That missing girl Zelda from the news? She's probably missing for good. What reminded you of her anyway?
For once in my life, I couldn't speak. Everyone had forgotten about me. Just like that. People loved me and celebrated me for a bit, and then it was over. I couldn't think straight. I searched the school to go find Skylar, and when I did, he was kissing another girl. That's when I totally lost it. I sprung onto Skylar and tackled him to the ground. You're a cheat! You're a fraud! You're a liar! Skylar tried to fight me off, and crowds of kids gathered around us.
Get off me, you psycho!
You're not going anywhere until you tell the truth. Until you tell everyone here that you're in a gang and you break girls' hearts for money. I pinned Skylar to the ground and he started to cry.
Okay, fine. I'm in a gang where people pay us to date girls as a joke or for revenge. We've also stolen money and expensive jewelry.
Everyone gasped and started whispering. Some girls Skylar had dated began to cry. You want to know something else, genius? If you had actually cared about me, you would have been able to recognize that I'm not Z. I'm Zelda, your old girlfriend that you dated for a bet. With that, I took off my wig.
Zelda? What is happening right now?
I was never missing, okay? I hid in my bedroom and lied about it for attention. I wanted to feel loved and appreciated for once in my life. But it doesn't matter, because everyone forgot about Zelda, the missing girl. Kids had gathered all around the courtyard and had heard everything. Some of them were laughing, others were whispering, but wherever I went, I could feel stares. My secret was out and posted everywhere online. I was getting attention again. But wherever I went, I could feel stares. My secret was out and posted everywhere online. I was getting attention again, except bad attention this time. Everyone thought I was a heartless witch, and they were right. How could I do something so selfish? All of a sudden, I saw my parents walking towards me. Someone had called them. Kids started pointing at me. You know what? I get it. I messed up. I'm sorry, okay? I wish I didn't care so much about what everyone thought of me, but I want to be better. And the truth is, I like who I am, even with all my weirdness and my problems. I need to remind myself of that. But both my parents hugged me.
You did the right thing by admitting your mistake, sweetie. And we're sorry we agreed to let you do this. We should have been the responsible ones.
We promise we'll always be there for you. And we want you to know we're proud of you. We love you, Zelda. Thanks, guys. I needed to hear that. I love you too.